Welcome, Sagittarius, to your in-depth weekly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for week commencing the 13th of April for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share the big themes of the week first, then on screen, your event chart on Monday. Always provides an influential backdrop. I'll then go through each of the influences frame by frame to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of energy, work, relationships, and finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. Please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. As you come into this week, Mercury, which has been occupying the fourth and very tender part of your scope for just under 10 weeks, is finally forging a really helpful angle. But it's going to be moving into your sister fire sign of Aries midweek, and that's really good news. There's a lot of action in that fifth house, which can be about where you can amp up your charisma, certainly can be where you can be interactive socially, but also demonstrate your talent and flair. And we're going to see a new moon in that area on Friday. What's the implication for you? Because it does forge a very special conjunction to Chiron, the so-called wounded healer. At the end of the week, for the first time in 28 years, Mars and Saturn in Aries come into an exact conjunction. Mars in Aries is in a hurry. Saturn in Aries is not. What's the outcome? On the screen now, Sagittarius, is your event chart. And I'd just like to take you to Mercury. So Mercury's been in Pisces since February the 6th. But Mercury's detrimented there. It's a water sign. And of course, you had Saturn there for a couple of years. And that part of your situation has also been under the influence of the North Node. Not necessarily badly, but Mercury struggles in Pisces, and we've had the shadow periods and also the retrograde. But it starts the week in a very sharp link with the electric vibe of Uranus. Your ability to think outside the box is amplified on Monday and Tuesday in a very positive way. Now, most Sagittarius people have a huge appreciation of space. So if you do decide to declutter, I may have mentioned this before with Uranus in that sixth house, but it would be a smart thing to do at the start of this week. But you know, we can declutter our minds as much as our physical place too. Now, your ruler Jupiter has been in your eighth house of shared finances, entrepreneurship since last June. But if you've listened to my forecast before, you know it hasn't had an easy passage. But it starts this week in a fantastic link with Venus. So the two planets of fortune are aligning well. Details can bore you a little bit, but if you can focus on them, particularly if you're providing services to anyone in your work, and that could be fortunate for you even financially too. Now, as ever, we need to be mindful of the luminaries. The sun is in house or decan 3, sorry, and that means it's under the auspices of your ruler Jupiter. So that glows up better. And also the moon's in a great link with the sun. Your words carry great power at the moment, particularly with Pluto continuing that very strategic alliance with Saturn. What you mean is what you say. However, the moon does clash with Uranus. So it's possible that you could be a little bit on the edge as you come into the new week. I don't think it will be lasting. So on to Monday, Mars in an exact conjunction with Neptune. Now, that in itself is a very rare conjunction in this sign for sure, but for you, it's the fifth house. Now, Mars in the fifth house brings drama. It brings your passion to the fore. The fire energy is urging you to really go for it. Neptune can be like a steamy mist. So there may be something around the arts or creativity that you're really engaged with at the start of this week. But if there is someone you really fancy, the fifth house can be about attraction. You might not quite get to this week exactly how it stands. That doesn't mean to say it hasn't got great potential. It's just that Neptune just naturally can shroud a little bit the thrust and desire of Mars. Now, on Tuesday, Mercury forges the exact sextile to Uranus. So a detail which has been missing becomes clear. Wednesday, it moves into Aries. Going to be there through to the 3rd of May. If you're wanting to initiate more interaction socially, it's brilliant because Mercury in the fourth house may have dimmed your desire to connect to people. But Mercury, like Mars, is going to meet Neptune. So again, if you are someone who's got talents that require both form and function, then Neptune can provide a lot of nuance in a very stylized and artistic way. But when it comes to messages, can create, again, a little bit of uncertainty. But on Thursday, the Sun and Chiron are in an exact conjunction, but they're so close on the new moon on Friday. I think we can safely say it can be a very healing new moon. Healing for what? Well, the fifth house can be about joy. If your life has gone through significant knocks in recent years, particularly with Saturn in your fourth house, it wouldn't be a surprise. I think what Chiron's saying to you and the reset that the new moon provides is do believe. Do believe it can change. Your greatest gift is your optimism. That's not to say that that should be optimism in the face of the world we live in, which isn't easy, but just inner optimism, what you can create. So believe that you can bring laughter and happiness into your life, and you can start the process in earnest on that new moon. But when we get to the end of the week, Mars and Saturn coming into a conjunction is intriguing because Mars in Aries is all about going for it at pace. And Saturn, of course, is much more, a much slower, much more pedestrian energy. And boom, it can slow Saturn right down, which can create frustration. That's why I think this is a week of transition. But if you know what you want to express in terms of your brilliant talents, if you know what you want to bring into your world in terms of extra pleasure and fun, this is the week to get all the platform, the foundations all in place, and you can do it. I'm going to summarize those four areas of energy, work, relationships, and finances shortly, but just to say, I've reduced the price of the personal horoscopes so you can order one, pay for one, and get three. I'm doing this because I know that a lot of people are feeling the pinch, but also I passionately would like to share with you more technical astrology, which helps you to understand your life journey, totally unique for each person, and also time your muse future forward better. Please see the link below, 3 for the price of 1. If you've yet to watch your Gemini 84-year cycle video on the screen, your Mars in Aries video on the screen. If you want to work with me one-to-one, it would be a pleasure. Please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to sign up for your free daily horoscope, find your device each morning for your early morning celestial pit stop, please see that link below too. Now, to summarize, when it comes to your financial situation, Jupiter being in the eighth house can, between now and the end of June, see an improvement. And something can happen at the start of this week which makes that clearer. But also, Mercury has been in a very torturous journey for 10 weeks. And if you have felt at times lacking the usual spark and motivation and self-belief, it wouldn't be a surprise. Know this week, an issue which has been delayed can be clarified, but also you're setting the place, you're setting the foundations to move forwards in a much more charismatic way. So whether that's around your love life, around your talents, or around your professional situation, things can move forwards. But I think it is true to say that your energy this week might not quite reach the peak you'd like, but I think it can do in the week following this one. It's been a pleasure being with you, Sagittarius. All the best. Have a great week. Take care and goodbye.